Welcome to this episode of the Harpreet Singh Show. In today's segment, we're going to talk to Dr. Kala Singh, who in the past 2 weeks has told us about the heritage of the turban as to what is the importance of the turban. In the previous episodes, he mentioned that turban is not just confined to India. It has been worn all across the world in different cultures, and not just the men, but women also have worn it. But today we would like to focus upon the Sikh turban. Why is it important for a Sikh to wear a turban? And over the years, what are we finding, and especially why our younger generation is not wanting to wear the turban? Let's discuss this issue with Dr. Kala Singh. Welcome to the program, Dr. Sir.
Yes, Harpreet Singh ji, thank you very much. About the Sikh turban, it is called DASTAR,
Right.
as we told before. And we have our holy book called Guru Granth Sahib.
Ji.
There is no much mention about turban in the holy book. There is only just a mention,
Right.
like the fifth Guru said in 74:9 that I am a wrestler, I belong to the Lord of the world, I met with the Guru and I have tied a tall plumed turban.
Right.
Like this, there is some of them quotations like that one on page 659.
Okay.
You make your hair beautiful and wear a stylish turban on your head. It's about the God.
Right.
You know how handsome is your turban and how sweet is your speech. Bhagat Namdev 727. You know, but otherwise there is no much mention about this. But the pictures which were drawn by the painters of our gurus, though our gurus' pictures are not available, but this is how they portrayed whoever made the painting. Guru Nanak Dev Ji putting a turban just like Baba Farid.
Okay.
The only difference is that the Baba Farid's turban was put on like a rope around the head, but here Guru Nanak's turban is properly put one on top of each other.
The imagination of the painter is different.
Is different, that's all. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji putting on a turban and like royalty being decorated with pearls and with a crest, you know, and all the big Sikhs who were after Guru Gobind Singh, like Baba Banda Singh Bahadur, I've got a picture wearing a turban. Maharaja Ranjit Singh wore a turban, and in his court all the Sikhs wore turbans, and SARDAR JASSA Singh Ahluwalia wearing a turban, SARDAR JASSA Singh Ramgarhia wearing a turban. Then there is a turban worn by the NIHANG Singhs. They were the warrior Sikhs of Guru Gobind Singh. But their turban is different than any other turbans which we wear these days. It is called Dhamala. So there is one called Dhamala 1, in which there is it is made of two portions of the cloth. One is called Chand Tora, and then on top of that is the other one. So this turban is a big turban, and very good for warriors. Then there is a Dhamala 2, which is without a Chand Tora, and then there is a Dhamala 3, which is a simpler version of both of them. That is Dhamala 3. And then I got a picture of a warrior NIHANG Singh with his all fighting artifacts with him. You know, his turban has got about 6 or 7 type of fighting equipment with him on the turban, with his sword, with his bow and arrow, and with another one around his.
It's fully armed with.
Fully armed. This shows that at that time, Guru Gobind Singh's time, how the warrior Sikhs were going to the war, carrying all of them with them, and turban was also used as a to carry the weapons. And then what we have is. Sometimes people ask that at what age the Sikh people start wearing turban. The turban for a young child, they put a cloth on top of the head. It's called a patka. I've got a picture of my own son, Sumail Singh, when he was young, putting a patka. And there is no specific age when to start the turban. It is when the child is big enough to wear a turban. Then it now again it is not mandatory, but it is done that there is a
small
function held called the Starbandi. At that time, the maternal uncle brings the turban, but if the maternal uncle is not around, then
anybody can get it. It's not an issue. It's not a major issue.
Yes, here it is me putting the turban on my son, and then I got a picture of him along with his sister wearing a chunni,
Right.
and he, Sumail Singh, wearing a turban.
Right.
You know, this is a typical, not the Sikh turban is different from the Muslim turbans, that
Right.
it is a conical turban. Muslim turban is a circular turban,
Right.
or like a rope with one end hanging down over the left shoulder.
Okay.
Sikh turban is a conical turban, put very meticulously with one cloth
Overlapping the other.
and then on the forehead
Right.
there is a cloth called 50.
Right.
Again, it is not a mandatory, but it
But the
is
basic
to-
idea is
to
so
keep
that the hair,
to keep the
you know, the hair are not seen.
Yeah, so I have
Right.
put the picture of my own son when he became adult, and he's putting a turban.
Right.
Typical conical turban, and their turbans are of different types.
Right.
I have got the stars, about 5-6 people wearing different type of
Different styles are
of
there.
star. Again, there is another type of turban which Sikhs wear. It is a circular type of turban,
Right.
like worn by Guru Nanak Dev Ji's picture, which is somehow those people who consider themselves to be more religious saints,
Right.
they put a circular turban, like our Deras, Babas, Sads.
Right.
I've got a picture of one of Baba called Ranjit Singh, Tadriawala. You know, so he's putting
His turban is different. It's a round turban,
yeah.
basically.
So when some of us put this type of turban and go to America, that is when people have difficulty in differentiating
Right.
that it is a Muslim or
Or
it
a
is
Sikh.
or it is a Sikh turban.
Right.
Now this turban, as I said, that has been lost over the years. Even Sikhs had to fight a lot to
Right.
keep the turban. They have to undergo atrocities. You know, I have got picture of 5th Guru Arjan Dev Ji.
Ji.
He was put on a hot plate with a hot sand put on his head,
Right.
and then boiled in a pot of boiling water, and then being thrown into the river. That's why he obtained martyrdom on 16th of June 1606, just to keep the turban.
Right.
Then I've got a picture of Guru Tegh Bahadur, the 9th Guru. He was beheaded in Delhi
Right.
on 24th of November, just to keep the turban on. I got, before he was martyred, his Sikhs, like Pai Sati Das, he was burnt alive
Right.
in Delhi. Pai Mati Das was cut into half with a seesaw.
Right.
Pai Dayalaji was boiled in a boiling hot water.
Right.
Water just to keep the turban. The two young sons of Guru Gobind Singh, Joravar Singh 9 years, Fateh Singh 6 years, they were buried alive.
Right.
With a
Because they refused to change their faith, and that is why they were buried behind the wall. Right.
And by Mani Singh, he was martyred by being cut, his body cut by joint.
Right.
By Taru Singh, his scalp was removed.
Right.
Rather than removing the hair, his scalp was removed by the official cobbler.
Right, because Pai Taru Singh had refused to allow not even a single hair from his body to be
yes.
taken out.
And
so that's a very important history, Doctor, what you're talking about. But the problem is right now that this information what we have given today, probably the youngsters are not being told, I would say, or they are not understanding the significance. And turban is just considered to be just a piece of cloth worn on the head, but they're not understanding that what was behind this turban. And definitely we'll go for a small break and come back and talk about this issue as to how the importance of turban can be ingrained in their mind, and they also start wearing the turbans. Once again, welcome back to the program. We have been talking about the importance of turban, and in today's segment, Dr. Kala Singh has been telling us what is the importance of the Sikh turban, the kind of turbans which are worn by the Sikhs, and especially in today's world, why is it that the importance of the turban is not being felt by the youngsters, and what needs to be done? Let's learn a little bit more from Dr. Kala Singh. Ji, Doctor, so what do you feel personally as to how the importance of the turban can be ingrained in the minds of the youngsters also, that this has come with a lot of sacrifices? The pictures which you showed before the break, our ancestors, our gurus, they were firm in their faith, and turban was an integral part of them. But today we ourselves are just leaving it out.
In fact, we are also living, but before we go into that one, let's say that turban still is Sikhs are still having problems wearing the turban in the modern world also.
Okay.
We are lucky to be in Canada, where the turban is officially recognized.
Right.
We can wear anywhere. But in Europe, still, like in France,
Oh yeah, it's a major issue.
It's a major issue. I have got a picture of small children in Delhi,
right.
Protesting, rallying, to put the turban. It is despite the fact that Maharaja Ranjit Singh, he had Europeans in his court.
No, but even during the World Wars also, the kind of contribution which was done by the Sikhs in France is well known.
Yes.
So, history also, in history there are many instances where the Sikh soldiers fought for the people of France. But another thing which you talked about, that we are proud to live in Canada, definitely, and another achievement of this present government has been that they have allowed the Sikhs to wear turbans all across the Canadian High Commissions all over the world, which is again a big contribution.
Yes. And what you said about Sikhs fought in France, I've got a postcard with me. It shows Sikh regiment marching on the road in France, and the caption is "Gentlemen of India marching to chasten German hooligans." It is written both in French and in English.
Right.
So even Sikhs fought in Canada during First World War.
Right.
There were 2 in Toronto, 3 in Smiths Falls, 3 in Vancouver, 1 in Winnipeg, 1 in Montreal, 8 served in overseas, and 2 were killed in action, and 1 died later of his wounds. And we have got a Private Buchan Singh, who fought here, and he died at the age of 25 years. And he got injured twice in the battle. And I got a picture of his buried in Kitchener. And we had Captain Kasur Singh. I got a picture of him. And the problem is that our youngsters are being not wearing turban these days. We can call it that we have not been able to educate them more about the importance of turban and how much atrocities we have to go through. So somehow it is our fault also.
So it's probably identity crisis also.
Yeah, identity crisis also. And talking in English about turban is one of the way we are trying to reach
the youngsters
through the television. The other question which people ask is the color of the turban. That you people wear different type of colors. Does it have any significance? In fact, most of the time it has got no significance. We try to match the color of the turban with our necktie or with our jacket or with our shirt. But like most East Africans and American Sikhs, these white Sikhs, they put white color turban. I don't know what reason. And then there is a religio-political party in India called Akali Party. They put dark blue, and at that time it was that their standard is as high as sky. At that time, and when Sikhs go on a rally, like on a morcha, they normally put a saffron colored.
But again, it has no significance. We have given those meanings to it. Otherwise, from our historical perspective, we cannot say that one color is better than the other. It is your own choice.
Yes. So let's come to the importance of the turban. Turban for a Sikh and even for a Muslim is a crown. Is a spiritual crown and a sign of respect. So to put a hand on somebody's turban is like disrespecting.
Attacking a person.
Attacking the person. It is a disrespect. Then there is another one which I do not 100% believe in it, but it is one of the importance. So it's my duty to let the people know that the top center of the head is called crown chakra. So they say that it's a focal point of energy. When in a holy place, we get grace of the God in the form of energy. So to retain that energy, we cover our heads. That's why priests in the church put a skull cap, or in the Jews they put a hat. What I say is, if it is true, then that means all of us should cover our head. We are getting the grace of the God every time, everywhere, not only in the holy place, but the grace is coming everywhere.
Every time and everywhere. Absolutely.
Then another another importance is that like to drive motorcycle or bicycle, we have to protect our head. So if it is a turban, it is tightly put, it will not fall down.
Right, and it acts as a helmet, and there are many, and again this is a battle also going on at many places where Sikhs are not allowed, and in some places some are allowed.
Even the soldiers, they put a cap,
right,
but turban is better than a cap at
well, but again, the Sikhs have been allowed all over the world to wear the turbans in the battleground also, and there are many instances of pictures where we have seen the Sikh bravely fighting in their turbans, not removing the turbans and wearing the hard hats.
A hard hat,
right.
Even we see that when it is scorching hot,
right,
people put a hat, or when it's very cold, they put a cap, you know.
Right.
But turban is good for both type of seasons,
right,
every time, so it protects the head from the scorching heat.
Absolutely, and of course, Doctor, towards the end, the disheveled hair are maintained by wearing a turban. And it is an integral part of the Sikhs, and we hope that this legacy of which has been continued for ages is continued in our youngsters also, and they understand the significance and importance of turban, that it's not just a plain piece of cloth which one wears around the head. There is a lot of tradition, there is a lot of significance attached to it. It is a pleasure understanding all this from your side. Thank you very much and best wishes.
Thank you, sir.